My friends, in a move that's left teens feeling more restricted than their skinny jeans, Australia has just slapped a ban on social media for anyone under 16. That's right. Meow the land down underwear kids can't scroll has decided to turn the digital playground upside down, and the digital overlords of the teen realm are facing wallet-busting penalties that would make even a tech billionaire's monocle pop out. On November 28, 2024, the Australian Senate passed this landmark legislation with a vote of 34 to 19. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, championing this digital doomsday for teens, proclaimed, "We're sending a message to social media companies to clean up their act. Because nothing says clean up your act like threatening to bankrupt an entire industry, right? The law slaps a whopping 50 million Australian dollar fine on any platform that dares to let the kiddos scroll. That's about 33 million US dollars. Or, as I like to call it, enough avocado toast to feed every millennial in Sydney for a decade. It's like the government looked at the housing market and thought, nah, not expensive enough. Let's make social media companies feel the pain too. But wait, there's more. The Aussie government, in its infinite wisdom, has given the tech giants a whole year to figure out how to keep the youngsters at bay. Come January 2025, they'll be trialling enforcement methods that might include everything from biometric scans to government IDs. Because nothing says fun online experience like having to submit your fingerprints to post a selfie, right? I can't wait for the show us your birth certificate to prove you're old enough to use this emoji feature. Meow, let's talk numbers. The average Aussie teen spends about 1 hour and 51 minutes daily on social media. TikTok takes the cake with a whopping 42 hours and 13 minutes monthly. That's more time than most of us spend pretending to work. YouTube comes in second at 21 hours and 36 minutes, while Facebook lags behind at 20 hours and 15 minutes. It's like watching the Olympics, but instead of sports, it's teens competing for who can waste the most time. But it's not all doom and gloom for the tech-savvy tykes. YouTube, that bastion of educational content and cat videos, has been given a free pass. Apparently, watching endless makeup tutorials and prank videos is considered educational these days. Who knew? I can't wait for the first PhD thesis on the socio-economic impact of cat videos on modern society. The reaction to this digital doomsday for teens has been as mixed as a bag of Australian licorice. On one side, we have child psychologists like Rob Nichols from the University of Sydney, nodding sagely and saying, yes, social media does more harm than good. On the other, we have Carly Dober from the Australian Association of Psychologists calling it a band-aid response to complex issues. It's like watching a tennis match, but instead of balls, they're lobbing psychological jargon back and forth. Of course, the tech giants aren't taking this lying down. Meta's PR team is working overtime, probably wishing they could just unfriend the entire Australian government. A Meta spokesperson said, "This law is inconsistent and ineffective. We're deeply concerned about the rights of children to boost our engagement metrics." Meanwhile, TikTok representatives are frantically trying to prove that dancing to the latest trends is actually crucial for cognitive development. Elon Musk tweeted his disapproval faster than you can say free speech, which is ironic given X's character limit. He warned that this could be a backdoor way to control access to the internet by all Australians. Because if there's one thing Elon Musk is concerned about, it's preserving everyone's right to post whatever they want on his platform. But here's where it gets really interesting, my friends. This Aussie action could set off a domino effect across the globe. Other countries are watching with keen interest, wondering if they too should pull the plug on teens' digital lives. It's like a game of international whack-a-mole, but instead of moles, it's social media platforms popping up and getting smacked down. Norway has already raised its social media age limit to 15, and the UK fined TikTok £12.7 million for privacy violations. It's like watching a global competition of who can restrict the internet the most. Australia's just taken the gold medal, but I'm sure other countries are training hard for the next round. And let's not forget the clever little rascals who will inevitably try to outsmart the system. VPN usage among Aussie youth is expected to skyrocket faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline. It's almost as if telling teens they can't do something makes them want to do it more. Who would have thought? We might see the rise of social media speakeasies, where kids gather in secret to share memes and practice their TikTok dances. The Australian Child Rights Task Force has criticised the law as a blunt instrument, arguing for children's right to doomscroll, because apparently it's a fundamental human right to spend hours watching strangers lip-sync to pop songs. They're probably working on amending the Constitution as we speak. Public reaction has been surprisingly supportive, with 77% of Australians backing the ban. One Sydney resident said, "Finally, my kids will have to talk to me instead of their phones." Another chimed in, "I can't wait to see my teenagers' face when I tell them they have to use Facebook like an old person." The law gives social media companies a 1-year grace period to implement these changes. I can already see the countdown clocks in teenagers' rooms, ticking away the seconds until their digital lives go dark. It's like Y2K all over again, but instead of computers shutting down, it's teenagers' social lives. But don't worry, messaging apps are exempt from the ban, so teens will still be able to communicate. They'll just have to resort to actually typing out words instead of sending strings of emojis. The horror. Critics argue that the law is too broad. One expert suggested, "Why stop at social media? Let's ban anything fun for anyone under 25. That'll solve all our problems." Because if there's one thing that always works, it's treating complex societal issues with blanket bans, right? As for the social media companies' bottom lines, well, let's just say Mark Zuckerberg might have to downgrade his robot oil from premium to regular. TikTok executives are probably practicing their own sad dances to post on the platform. So there you have it, folks. Australia has decided to be the strict parent of the internet, sending social media to its room without supper. Will it protect the youth or just drive them to more creative ways of accessing their digital fix? Only time will tell. And remember, if you're over 16 and still allowed to use social media, why not like and subscribe? It's probably the only thing you can do online without needing an ID these days. We'll return shortly with more updates. I'm Ron de Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat special report.